Shweta, can you please give me a cup of chai?
All right.
Thanks. Thanks so much. Lovely cup of chai. That entire intro was shot on the iPhone 16 Pro, and I did not use any external lighting whatsoever. Everything was shot in natural lighting. It was around 6 p.m, almost sunset, so not a lot of light, kind of a dark scenario, and I feel that the iPhone did do a good job in terms of capturing everything. I did shoot in ProRes 4K 120 FPS by using an external SSD, like I connected the external SSD, and everything was recorded directly onto the SSD. Now there were some problems because it was set on auto mode. There is no manual control for exposure, white balance, focus and everything in the default camera application, and that is something Apple should add. You could clearly notice the exposure shift. That's why manual control over these things is very important. But regardless, iPhone 16 Pro did a very good job in terms of capturing that scenario. I could create a proper cinematic video by just using the 16 Pro without any external lighting, and that says a lot about this phone. Also, this part is being recorded with the 16 Pro. I am not using ProRes for this part. I just wanted to use the normal mode, so that's what it is. Now I feel the Pro series in iPhones is definitely for professional people, especially in terms of the cameras. Apple keeps on adding these Pro features which are useful for professionals, photographers, videographers, YouTubers, content creators, etc. And this year on paper 16 Pro might seem like a small upgrade, but in real life that does make a difference. I've been using the normal 16 Pro and not the Pro Max, and in fact in this smaller variant there are two new sensors. First is the new 5x telephoto. So last year Apple introduced this new sensor only with the 15 Pro Max and not with the 15 Pro, but this year both the models get it. And I feel this 5x telephoto is the most fun perspective to shoot with. Detailed, high quality photos with really good colors. I mean, the look and the perspective that you get with the 5x is just something else. While I was shooting with this phone, the most used camera was definitely that 5x telephoto. For street photos, landscape photos, and even for portraits. In fact, when you shoot portraits with 5x, you have to move behind a lot, and that's why you get a better depth of field. I really like how the 5x telephoto works over here. Also, portrait mode is excellent in terms of edge detection as well as background blur. Now, when you give the 5x camera a lot of light, it shines. But as you move to low light scenarios, it is kind of weird. See, in low lighting conditions, the phone automatically decides whether to use the 5x telephoto or the main camera, and then just crop into 5x. It decides which one is better. I've noticed a lot of scenarios during low light where the 5x telephoto is just not used. It will switch to the main camera because the main camera does a better job in terms of low light photography. So in terms of low light photography, 5x is still not there. It has a long way to go. Also, shooting videos with this new 5x perspective is excellent. It can shoot 4K videos which look amazing. But with that being said, stabilization on the 5x telephoto is very difficult. Like, you have to keep your hand very stable because it is a telephoto. If you've ever used a telephoto lens on your camera or in your smartphone, you know what I'm talking about. See, all things considered, the 5x telephoto is definitely an upgrade. The second new sensor is a 48 megapixel ultra wide. It has been upgraded from a 12 megapixel ultra wide. But to be honest, I did not notice a huge difference in terms of photos. Here are a few photos side by side from the 15 Pro and 16 Pro using the ultra wide angle camera, and you can see that the difference is very minimal. So I feel the new 48 megapixel sensor is just an incremental upgrade over 15 Pro when it comes to the ultra wide angle camera. But don't get me wrong, it's still one of the best ultra wide angle cameras out there in terms of photos as well as videos. You can shoot amazing videos with the ultra wide angle camera, and it is great for vlogging. I mean, almost all the major vloggers out there who shoot with a smartphone do use an iPhone because the ultra wide angle camera is just great. But the ultra wide angle video struggles in terms of low lighting conditions, and that has still not been solved. Even with the new 48 megapixel sensor, low light ultra wide angle videos are grainy. Now, as far as we're on the topic of upgrades, there is a new video resolution, 4K 120 FPS. And this works in both normal as well as ProRes log. I just want to say one thing, 4K 120 FPS natively is just awesome. You can slow down the footage to like 25% and still get 30 FPS smooth video, which looks absolutely stunning. So 4K 120 FPS is a very good tool to have in a smartphone, and the implementation of 4K 120 FPS is excellent because you can change the FPS after shooting the video. It will not decide automatically, so Apple is kind of giving you the control. You can either keep it normal, slow it down to 50%, 25%, whatever you want. So for people who vlog with their phones, this is a very handy tool. But I wish that it was available for the other two cameras as well, like the ultra wide angle camera and the telephoto camera. It is only available for the main camera. But kudos to Apple for giving 4K 120 FPS. So videography wise, Apple has taken a step forward and iPhone still remains the best out there for video shooting, and that is not changing this year. But what about photography? See, photos on the iPhone have this processed look. The shadows are bumped and highlights are taken down to have a flat look. But in a lot of scenarios, that flat image does not look that good. So Apple is trying to solve that problem this year with something called as undertones. Basically, Apple is giving the control to the user to change the tone of the photo even after clicking the photo. You can bring down the tone, which essentially brings down the image processing and gives you a more contrasty and detailed image. I particularly love this new feature. Similarly, there are new photographic styles. These styles change the look of the image completely. They're not like normal filters. I really like the implementation of photographic styles. And Apple is capturing all the data, so you can change the photographic style of a photo even after clicking it, and that is amazing. Now, one problem that is still there is lens flare. Whenever you show this camera a source of light, you are going to get a flare. This is true for photos as well as videos, and it's kind of annoying that this problem has not been solved. I don't know, there should be some coating like the Zeiss T-Star coating on Vivo phones where the flare is completely eliminated. Why can't Apple do something like that? Like just put a coating or do something and get rid of those flares, or at least bring them down to a point where they are not annoying. But see, I'll say one thing, in terms of photos, this is a pretty solid setup. The main camera clicks amazing photos in all sorts of lighting conditions. Same goes for ultra wide angle camera and the 5x telephoto camera. But I feel the competition is better in terms of photos. Something like the Vivo X100 Ultra or the Xiaomi 14 Ultra or even the S24 Ultra. All these phones are way better in terms of photography because they have periscope cameras, different styles. Vivo has the Zeiss collaboration, Xiaomi has the Leica collaboration, and these things work better for photography. So Apple is definitely lagging behind when it comes to photos. They have taken a step in the right direction with photographic styles and with undertones, but I want to see that evolve, and maybe Apple can add a periscope camera because that would be awesome. What about pro features for photos? Well, you can shoot photos in RAW and then edit them later on. Here are some examples of RAW versus edited. Do let me know what do you feel of these photos in the comment section down below. Also, one thing genuinely missing is a true pro mode. I talked about this for the intro as well. Manual control for photos and videos in the native camera application is missing. Apple, if you are watching this, please, we need manual control in the native camera application. It is time to talk about the most useless feature on the iPhone 16 Pro, that is camera control. Apple added a new button on the 16 Pro and the position of that button is very uncomfortable. They kind of split the difference for landscape and portrait, and in doing so, it became uncomfortable for both the positions. I do not like the camera control button and I don't use it. There, I said it. I don't use it. Alright, this is a very quick sample, like low light video sample with the iPhone 16 Pro. I'm shooting with the main camera, not me, my wife is shooting with the main camera, 4K 30 FPS. And you can see the beautiful gradient behind me. Like the sun has just set, it looks really good. And I think it's also a good time to test the audio mix feature. I'm going to be switching to studio now, and you will be able to hear a big difference in terms of my voice. Let me know what do you feel about this feature in the comment section down below, and also let me know about the low light video performance. I think it's good enough. Let me know about that in the comments below. By default, these new phones, the non-Pro 16s and even the Pro 16s, will shoot in spatial audio. And Apple has designed a new audio mix feature wherein you can change the audio encoding depending on the type of video that you're shooting. There is in-frame, studio, cinematic, a lot of options. I did talk about this at length in my iPhone 16 video, like the 16 Plus video. If you want to know more about this, I will drop a link to that video in the description box below. Please go ahead and check it out. One more thing, that I've been sitting in the car. It's a sunny day for about like 30 minutes and shooting continuous photos, videos, 4K 120 FPS with the 16 Pro, and it is starting to get warm. Like it is not cold to the touch. The AC is on and still it is getting warm. So that is a thing that needs to be considered. Alright, I am starting the shoot right now, and let's see how much battery is there. As you can see, it is at 42%. So let me quickly go ahead and start recording. and let's see what the battery is after I'm done recording. Alright, 23 minutes of recording is done and the phone is at 33%. So not bad. In fact, very good battery life. Just one thing to note over here is that the phone was on airplane mode because I did not want anyone calling while I was shooting. So airplane mode. What about the selfie camera? Well, the selfie camera remains mostly unchanged. It is very similar to the 15 Pro. Very good selfies, detailed with good skin tones and dynamic range. And selfie video is one of the best out there. So no complaints in terms of the selfie camera. See, all things considered, the iPhone 16 Pro is definitely for professionals. So if you're someone who shoots videos and photos professionally, then you can definitely go for the 16 Pro. They have dropped the price this year as compared to 15 Pro. So that is a good thing. If you have an iPhone 13 Pro, you can definitely upgrade to the 16 series. But if you have an iPhone 14 or 15, just wait one more year because then you will get even more upgrades. So that's been it, short on iPhone 16 Pro. Do let me know what do you feel about this video in the comment section down below. If you like this content, go and hit that like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel because it will mean the world to me. My name is Harsh Punjabi and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.